Give us 30 minutes and we'll give you lifelong learning. Find out what it's all about coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People. This morning we're at the Coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross on Pampas Drive in Myrtle Beach, near the soon-to-open Market Common on the former Myrtle Beach Air Force Base. We're focused on continuing education, and we're visiting with Greg Mitchell, the Vice President for Workforce Development and Continuing Education and Provost of the Horry Georgetown Technical College's Myrtle Beach campus. Good morning, Greg.
Glad to be here.
It's a big title there, guy.
Well, you can boil that down to one thing, servant, and that's what I'm here to do, serve the community.
Wow, that's a great word, absolutely. Here to serve the community, it really is that. All three of the campuses, and in every way, shape, and form, it's more than just those three campuses.
Absolutely. Greg, basically, we will serve about 15,000 local residents through continuing education annually, and that number has been growing over the years. So we recognize the need that the public have for continuing education, and to be competitive in this community, you have to look at additional education to be competitive.
Right, absolutely. Well, a lot of folks look at continuing education in less in a competitive sense. They've matured beyond their working environment, but they still want to continue to be educated.
Absolutely. And we get calls all the time, and we have to keep our hand on the community pulse, find out what's the trend, what's coming, what we need to be doing, what we should be doing that we're not doing. So we're very active in the community as well, Greg.
You've got your finger on the pulse of the community, Greg.
Absolutely.
It's not just you and Greg Thompson and so many of the other great guys, men and women there at Horry Georgetown Technical College. I mean, it really goes in deep. You've got the largest county in the state.
That's correct.
The fourth largest county in the state. And Horry Georgetown Tech is working diligently in these two very big counties to serve everyone.
That's correct, Greg, but you miss another very valuable point. We are the fastest growing community college in the state.
Is that right?
And you compare that with Coastal as the fastest growing four-year institution. So we share a lot of things in common with Coastal as well.
That's tremendous. There's other great institutions. Webster.
Absolutely.
You know about Webster. They're a tremendous university. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. I got my master's from Webster University.
I did not know that. Well, that's another great institution locally that a lot of folks, if they don't know about, need to learn more about. They can go to Webster's website or otherwise learn about them. But Coastal Carolina, you highlighted them. That's a friendly competition. Y'all are the locals college, and they are the college and university of choice oftentimes for a lot of folks coming in from out of the area as well as in the area.
Absolutely, Greg. Partnership is the key. You cannot do it alone, and at this point now we really don't want to do it alone. So you have that synergy when you partner, and so Coastal, Webster, these are great partners, and we're glad to be affiliated with them.
If a viewer needs to get off to work now or get family off to school, what's the best? Is there a good website or even a phone number to learn more about continuing education with Horry Georgetown?
Absolutely. You can go to our website, hgtc.edu.
Okay.
Go to the continuing education link, or you can call us up at 477-0808. That's the registration center, and we'll be more than happy to work with you.
Absolutely. You'll see a lot of folks crossing the state line, coming in from Brunswick, coming in from Columbus oftentimes, as well as coming in from Williamsburg County or Marion County because it's a little further to drive up to Florence Darlington or drive to Brunswick or Columbus County community colleges. I mean, so they find that Horry Georgetown Tech is a great resource.
And not only that, Greg, but you also have to offer the type of programs that they have a desire for. Just because we're close proximity doesn't necessarily mean they're going to come.
Right.
But we offer a lot of things that the community is looking for. So we try to, like again, we keep our hand on the community pulse and try to have those courses when they want them. And also we strive to be flexible, accessible, and providing the course offering that we do.
And if they go to the website and don't see a course that you may have, they can take the time to go ahead and call that phone number, leave their name. It'll end up getting to you and saying, this is a course you need to think about. Of course, I guess you deal with everybody and say, we may want to think about that. But at the same time, that's a good phone number, the 477-0808 number, to call if there is a course that someone thinks you may want to have?
Yeah, Greg, that's a good point. President Wilson always emphasized to us that, he wants us to make education available, flexible, when the community needs them.
Right.
So what we have set up in continuing education, we have what is called an enrollment coordinator. So you may be looking through our course catalog and say, hey, I don't see a course I really need to take. Just call our enrollment coordinator. We'd be more than happy to catalog those type of needs, and we'll set something up. We're flexible. We're responsive to the community needs. That's our motto. We're here to serve the community, and I'm here to serve the community as well.
I love it, Greg. Those are great words, because it is a big community. I mean, that's a community you really stretch and thin to try to serve them all, but there's a tremendous crew there at Horry Georgetown Technical College, and obviously the entire continuing education and workforce development division there. That's a very large division of the college.
I have a great staff. They've been around. We have plenty of years of working in the community, and the staff really what makes the difference.
Right. Real quick about yourself, Greg. Are you originally from the area?
No, Greg, I was really born in DeLand, Florida. Then we moved to Orangeburg, South Carolina, and basically most of my adult life I was in Orangeburg, and my wife and I and the children, we moved over to Myrtle Beach about 8 or 9 years ago.
Is that right?
Right.
Orangeburg, is your wife a native of Orangeburg?
No, she's in a small town outside of Walterboro called Islington. And so she generally claims Walterboro as her hometown, but it's a small town called Islington.
And your children were raised there in Orangeburg?
Absolutely.
For the most part?
For the most part, right.
Where are they now?
Well, I have a daughter here at Tech,
right.
And I have a son at Coastal.
Is that right?
That's
good.
Correct.
There's the partnership you were talking about.
It's working.
Any rivalry between your son and daughter there?
No, she's going to be at Coastal next year, so I think everything is going to blend together.
That is great. That is amazing. Absolutely.
Oh, a great institution, Greg, So it wasn't hard to convince my daughter. It wasn't hard to convince my son. These are great institutions, and we just enjoy.
There are a lot of partnerships. Folks think about, I was with my daughter recently at Ripley's Aquarium, and the young lady there was talking about, of course, not only the Marine Sciences program at Coastal, but the golf course management program, which, of course, would not be without the partnership of the Horry Georgetown Tech.
Absolutely, and working with Dr. DeCenzo, we're looking at expanding those partnerships as well.
Right.
So we're at the table expanding those type of relationships.
Greg, share with viewers exactly what is, if someone says, or they meet you and you said, here, I'm the Vice President of Continuing Education and Workforce Development, obviously, and Provost of the Horry Georgetown Technical College Myrtle Beach campus or Grand Strand campus. Sometimes people hear that. What is continuing education? What's your normal response to that? It's so broad. What is continuing education?
That's a great question. Continuing education, we can boil it down to lifelong learning. That is continuing education.
Right.
And basically, continuing education is available to all adults, regardless of educational background. For example, if you want to enhance a skill, so if you want to improve upon a skill, or you want to learn a new skill, or just for the pleasure of just learning, continuing education has something for everyone. So when you talk about continuing education, we're talking about lifelong learning.
Okay, and when you break down that lifelong learning, is it broken down by divisions, for instance, within the college?
Right, absolutely. We recognize that the community have different needs as well as individuals have different needs. So what we have set up at the college, we have a business and corporate sector that work with companies in developing curriculum, going inside of companies and doing assessment for their employees.
Right.
So we have that corporate angle that we do, and also we have, Greg, as a professional development division. Let's say, for instance, you say, hey, I'm tired of this job that I'm doing now. I want to try something different. I want to go into the medical program. So we have a professional development division within continuing ed. And then thirdly, Greg, we have what is called a personal interest. I just want to learn how to get involved in the culinary program.
Right, sure.
I just want to learn how to do quilting, just for the fun of learning.
Yeah.
So
horticulture.
Absolutely.
Brook Green Gardens and other places like that.
Right, and just for the fun of learning. So what you have in continuing ed, you have the professional, business-oriented part of it. Then you have the personal, professional development section. Then you have the personal interest just for the fun of learning, we call it.
I love it. Lifelong learning.
Hey, you got to have it.
Is this something you thought about at an early age, Greg? And you thought, I want to get into this down the road? I think you'd shared that you've worked with the community college or technical college system here in South Carolina for a good while. I think more than a decade even.
Absolutely. Well, I always enjoy working with people, helping people make a difference in people's lives. And this is one way I can get to live out my true calling. Making a difference in people's lives, and by working in continuing education. I love what I do.
Right.
And making a difference when you see people and you see their lives being transformed, you say, wow. So this is a blessing. I really enjoy what I do.
I thought I saw that your major there at USC was in management, not in making a difference in people's lives. That would be a good major there. But
absolutely.
When you studied management, had you really thought when you got out of USC that you would go into doing something just like that, making a difference in people's lives? I guess management ties into that.
Absolutely. Management is dealing with people of all ages, all race. And so, I just really enjoyed that. And so it's just natural for me. And they say, well, Greg, if you wasn't getting paid, I would.
Would you? Oh, come on.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
How would Bevel and she'd kick you out? Yeah, I'm kidding. Sorry. Yeah.
Let's hope not. But
no,
I really enjoy
kidding.
doing what I'm doing.
Very happy.
And we're making a difference in this community.
That's why your children in college, so they can take care of you in your old age when you're doing this for fun. Yeah,
that's right.
You're doing it for fun. I love it. Of course, there's so many hot jobs going on right now. Are there hot jobs that are really piquing a lot of interest there here at Horry Georgetown Tech's continuing education program?
Right. Greg, the Department of Labor put out a forecast for the next 5 years on what jobs are going to be hot for the future, okay?
Right.
And the first job that leads that pack is information technology. Over the next 5 years, we're going to experience a 68% increase in employment in that area.
Wow.
Allied health, a 30% increase. Construction, 18% increase. Retail, 14% increase.
Wow.
And this is over the next 5 years.
Right.
And so when people come to us inquiring, hey, what should I be doing? We point to them, hey, this is where the jobs are.
Right.
These are the areas you should be looking in. And this is where I said earlier that we keep our hand on the pulse of the community.
Oh, yeah.
We have to know what jobs are hard and work with our community and say, hey, guys, you want jobs? This is where you need to be in. So jobs for the future is hot. And that information is provided by the Department of Labor. Yeah.
What is information technology? What are some examples of that a student could go in? They could start at Horry Georgetown Tech, whether in the continuing education or in the college itself. What are some of the classes they may want to take that would get them ready for a job in information technology? Lots of different jobs?
Yeah, there's lots of different jobs. Computer, software, Microsoft.
Right.
Web page design.
Okay.
It just goes on and on there.
Right.
They can contact go to our website.
Right, sure.
And we have that information available.
Okay, or call the 477-0808 number, and the person there in the registration and continuing education registration either can send them over to the college registration or keep them right there and give them some ideas of classes they may want to take.
Absolutely. And we have a program manager whose job is primarily tracking that type of information, and be more than happy to sit down with the viewers and work with them.
I saw in reviewing some notes, CEU kept popping up. What is a CEU, Greg?
CEU, Greg, is a continuing education unit, not to be confused with college credit.
Okay.
The CEU is a means of documenting a person's continuing education activities over a period of years.
Okay.
So we can have some type of record. And a CEU, for every one CEU, it is equivalent to 10 hours of instruction. Mm-hmm. So if you have 30 hours of 30 CEUs, you'll have 300 hours of instruction.
Right. Okay, that's good to know. My next door neighbor had mentioned that without a college degree, she didn't know if she could take classes at Horry Georgetown Tech in continuing education. Can she still take classes? I told her I thought she could. There was no problem, but I need to hear it from the pro here.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. You can take classes just for the pleasure of learning. Okay. This lifelong learning is, you have to continue learning different things at different walks, different times in life. So absolutely, just call us up. Now, some courses may require a GED or a diploma to get involved in, to register for.
Right.
But for the most part, you just call us up and we'll be happy to sign you up and get you going.
How about for someone who may have missed a class they really want to take? If there was a culinary class you mentioned, or a horticulture class, or another class, is it probable they're going to do the class again, or is it always dependent on enough people are signing up? Or just what are some of the particulars that y'all have to think through for folks, since you've got your finger on the pulse? If there are classes that people really want to take 2 years ago, there may not be as big a push right now, but if someone missed a class, what can they do?
Greg, that's a great question, and I get that a lot of time.
I bet, yeah.
One thing you have to keep in mind that we offer class in a flexible, accessible, and affordable manner. That's job one.
Right.
Okay. So if you call us up and the class has been already offered or not being offered, what we have at the campus is an enrollment coordinator. His role is to catalog those individuals' needs. We recognize that this community is transforming, and that people may come in and don't see what we have, and we can't offer everything. But there is a vehicle to capture those needs that an individual may have, and we can catalog those courses. When we get enough to run it and we do our due diligence there, we'd be more than happy to run it. So we will offer in our spring catalogs coming out, let's say the first week in January, we will offer to the community over 250 course offerings. You know, those 250 was derived from what we know the community needs. Okay, but there are, with people moving in, they may say, hey, you know, I'm interested in this. That's not a problem. Call us up. We'll start cataloging it, and we'll make it happen.
That dovetails real well into that idea. As you say, if you don't see it in the catalog, who should a viewer call? Should they call this same number, the 477-0808, or is there a different number or a different person for them to call to say, this is hot stuff. You guys need to be doing that. This is not only of interest to me, but 3 of my neighbors over here, and we'll all commit to sign up for this class. How many? What's the minimum number of folks oftentimes? Is there a minimum number that you need for a class to be essentially charted down the road to go ahead and get committed to doing? But who should someone call? Should they call that same number? Yeah,
if you call 0808, they will direct them over to our enrollment coordinator, and with that person with catalog will call them up personally and find out exactly what it is and get some more information. And Greg, that very same thing that you just described does happen. When you get one call and say, I got 3 other people want to take this course, can you make arrangement for it? We do it all the time. So just call us up. You have to be flexible. You have to be available. Because if we're not available, then people won't come. So we're here to serve the community, and that's our role. That's our charter.
I think I saw recently that Horry Georgetown Technical College Continuing Education Department or field, the entire division there at the college, has opened up there was some tie into nursing. What was that piece that I may have seen some state approval recently or some big deal with nursing, which is such a hot topic? And next door, we've got obviously the Allied Health Center, the Robert M. Spear Allied Health facility opening next door here to the Red Cross. A lot happening here on the Myrtle Beach or Grand Strand campus.
Right. Great. The medical community has been knocking on our doors for years now and say, hey, you know, to maintain our certification, we would have to go to Greenville, Columbia, Charleston to get needed contact hours. And we would love to do it here locally. And therefore, we have recently been approved by the South Carolina Nurses Association to offer contact hours here locally. And so that's been a response to a community needs. That certification took us over 1 year to apply to get it. So we just got it in June, but already we're offering courses. We're already having people from the medical community coming here locally to take these courses. And so that's what I'm talking about, being responsive to the community, keeping our hands on the community pulse. So that is working, and I'm delighted that we're able to offer that to the local community, to that medical group.
Absolutely, Greg. We got about 5 minutes. There's so many things I think viewers would want to know right now. One thing I think, there was something about registered apprenticeships that, again, another example. That's been a real statewide push, an initiative for registered apprenticeship, I believe. How is that tied into Horry Georgetown Tech? Have they had the ability to recognize the importance of that?
Greg, that's a great question you just asked. I mean, you've been asking some great questions.
I like it. Well, no, you helped out a little bit, Greg. I'd like to take credit for that. Our producer, Sherry Harms, goes out of her way to make sure that I'm prepped, so I'll look good sitting here. But I think you obviously helped work with her on that. Thank you.
Well, you're looking real good.
How about my tie? I'm wearing pink today. You got a good-looking tie on.
Let me tell you about the Registered Apprenticeship Program.
Yes.
The Registered Apprenticeship Program is a nationwide system that combines on-the-job training with relevant technical and theoretical classroom instruction in highly skilled occupation.
Okay.
Example, electrical, plumbing, mechanical. Okay. Now, Greg, keep in mind, the baby boomers are coming into retirement.
Right.
Those skill sets in this state, we're hemorrhaging. Let me give you some numbers to relate to this. Florida have 17,000 apprentices participating in their state. Georgia have about 15,000. North Carolina have 12,000 apprenticeship. Tennessee have about 15,000. State of South Carolina, 800.
Oh, come on.
That's it, 800.
No way.
Right. Now, to become an apprenticeship, we are Department of Labor approved. And electrical, we have a program going on right now with the college. We have about 30-some electrical apprentices participating.
Right.
We have a plumbing apprenticeship program. We just started back in September. We have about 10 to 12. In January, we will bring on HVAC. We also, in January, we'll bring on carpentry. So the apprenticeship program, and the purpose of the apprenticeship program is to allow the employers to develop and apply industry standard to training.
Right.
Therefore, increasing productivity and better preparing their workers. So the state of South Carolina also, Greg, let me just bring this to your attention. There's a tax incentive now to get the employers to participate.
Right.
So call us up. We'll be more than happy to work with the local employers. We already have some on board, but we're looking to expand the apprenticeship program. Like I shared with you earlier, the numbers are there.
Right.
Guys, we got to get moving in the Registered Apprenticeship Program.
Well, you know, and I'm glad you highlighted that. And you highlighted earlier in the interview, obviously, how competitive it can be in the marketplace, Greg.
Yes.
And a lot of folks, they may know they need those classes, but they're very anxious by the fact they may not have the financial aid, the financial ability to come after hours, after a long day at work, and then spend more money so they can be more competitive. I mean, so they can actually get out there and move up the ranks a little bit. How does someone pay for continuing education classes?
Greg, President Wilson have also made it very clear to us, your ability to move up or be able to gain access to higher learning should never be hindered by financial reason.
Okay.
We do have within continuing education through our foundation, we have resources available to those individuals who could demonstrate a need. So there are resources available within the continuing education division, as well. You know, lottery tuition assistance is available for those who want to go on the credit side.
Sure.
But you know, I'm somewhat disturbed when individuals say, I could better myself if I can take a class. I said, come on, let's reason together.
Right.
We can make things happen.
Yeah, we will get you into some class.
Absolutely.
And of course, oftentimes, folks who think they want to take continuing education may be just as well suited for actual credit courses where
Absolutely.
they can get the lottery assistance.
And that's part of the advisement process that we will go through with those individuals who come our way.
We just got a minute, Greg. What is the fast track to success? What is that? I know that's really been a push. Obviously, we've heard a lot about it. What is that idea of really pushing to start a new career? Is there one?
Yes, Greg. You know, different individuals, for whatever reason, may lose their job and say, hey, I need to get back in the workforce. So we have developed programs that you can get, you can start a program, let's say, within 1 year of training.
Wow.
You can have some a credential, or there's a 6 months, and there's a 1 month training program. So what we've got is set up, if you need something really fast, you can go fast, faster, and fastest. And some of the programs we offer in our fastest, like 1 month or less, truck driving, culinary.
Or Georgetown Tech would do that.
Yes.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
Culinary.
So for whatever reason, you may lose your job and say, I don't have a year to train. I just need something in 30 days. We have programs for you.
Someone can actually get their truck driver's license in that short amount of time?
Less than 30 days. Real estate, less than 30 days.
That's tremendous.
Absolutely.
That is tremendous, Greg. What do you think keeps driving you? Is that idea that essentially the degree you got there in college of making a difference in other people's lives? And what is it that's really driving you?
That would be my motto. to make a difference in other people's life. But let me share this with you, Greg. There have been a lot of television personalities who got their start in community college. You can get there starting here. Clint Eastwood, Tom Arnold, Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan, Queen Latifah, Morgan Freeman. Although your viewers may not be interested in moving into the television aspect of it,
right,
but what I want to share with you, all those individuals got their start in the community college. You can get there from here. You just got to make the effort, and we'll be more than happy to work with you.
Those are great words, Greg. Thanks so
you.
much for being with us this
Thank
morning.
you.
I'm sorry we've run out of time.
Okay, Greg. Enjoy being here.
Absolutely. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Greg Mitchell, the Vice President for Continuing Education and Workforce Development and the Provost of Horry Georgetown Technical College's Myrtle Beach campus. Coming up next. You know, you may not have gotten any L's on your report card. I like these L's. I got a couple F's, maybe a couple A's, but how about these? Just take the time to write these 9 words down. Available to all adults, 3 A's. Affordable, accessible, 2 more A's. How about this F? How about this F? Flexible. And then lifelong learning, those 2 L's there. Take the time to learn more about Horry Georgetown Technical College's commitment to continuing education, to workforce development, and to the community. You heard Greg talking about being right on the pulse of the community. He's for real. This is serious stuff. hgtc.edu, hgtc.edu, or pick up the phone, 843-477-0808. Take the time. You heard him say it. You can get there from here, but you got to get started. Get started now.